Hello everyone, welcome back to ELA Prep. Today we are going to be talking about literary devices. I don't know why I had that pause there. Whatever. Uh, it's actually a very important topic for ELA. If you understand this topic well, this can help you better analyze text and pass your tests more. So, very important topic. I hope I can help you out in understanding this. If you do end up liking the video, please like and subscribe. Comment down below in case you have any questions or suggestions. And yeah, well, let's get straight into the lesson. So, literary devices are tools that authors use to make their writing more interesting and meaningful. They help readers better understand ideas, emotions, and themes in a story. So, when authors want to create a stronger description or a deeper meaning of something, they usually use literary devices to do that. You see that quite often. Literary devices make a story feel less boring and can appeal to, well, it can help push your creativity and imagine the story better. It uses familiar imagery, familiar topics to try and connect to you to make the story more understandable and less boring to read. So there's a lot of different literary devices that authors use. We'll be reviewing 5 of them in this slide. Sorry, not slide. This PowerPoint. They do help create a more vivid and clear picture. However, there are differences in each one, so we're going to be looking individually at these. So at first we're going to be looking at the simile. So a simile compares two things using the words like or as. This type of comparison helps readers picture something more clearly by connecting it to something familiar. So as I just said, basically, for example, her smile was as bright as the sun. So there we can see that it's a simile because of the word as, comparing the smile to the brightness of the sun. And the word as, the comparison helps us imagine just how bright, how much emotion she's showing through that smile. Alright, next we have metaphor. So a metaphor is also a comparison of two things, but it doesn't use words like, well, like, or as. Instead, it actually directly states that one thing is another thing. So, for example, we have time is a thief. So, a relatively simple sentence, but when we look deeper, time is not actually, stealing. However, the metaphor actually suggests that time takes things away from us. So yeah, metaphors can help create this strong imagery and deeper meaning. Alright, so now personification. So personification gives human qualities to non-human things. It can be objects, animals, or even ideas that are described as acting like people. It makes it more engaging as a whole to read it. So, for example, the wind whispered through the trees. Now, if we've lived for a few years, we could tell that the wind doesn't actually whisper. However, describing it that way makes the scene feel more vivid and more alive. Alright, next we have imagery. So, imagery uses descriptive language that appeals to all of the 5 senses. So, including sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Imagery will help the readers experience the story instead of actually just reading about it. It leaves a mark on you, Well, maybe not leave a mark, but it makes it better to read it, as I've stated multiple times already. So, an example I could give is basically when an author is describing the sound of thunder cracking in the sky. That would be an example of imagery. Alright, so moving on, finally we have symbolism. which is when an object, a character, or an action represents a deeper meaning. So, an object that stands for something more than just itself, and it often connects to the theme of the story. So, for example, a dove may symbolize peace. Quite a common usage of symbolism. Uh, it's basically just something that replaces or represents an ideology or a meaning. The dove one is very used in movies and in funeral scenes, and well, authors would usually use symbolism to connect to the actual theme of the story, however, without stating it directly. That'd just be boring, or I don't know, not fun for them, I guess. But yeah, those are basically the 5 literary devices, the most important ones you need to know. And how do you actually identify them? It's pretty simple. It's basically just going to be a summary of what each one of them are. So, number 1, look closely at unusual or creative language. Number 2, ask if 2 things are being compared. Number 3, notice if something non-human acts human. Number 4, look for strong sensory details. And number 5, consider if an object might represent something bigger. Alright, now that we have that over with, let's go to the practice question, the practice lesson. Let's see if you've actually learned from this. I hope. Shouldn't be too hard. Alright, so identify the literary device. So, the stars danced across the night sky. Now, I'm gonna give you a little bit to answer this. You can pause the video if you want, but let's wait it out. Alright, so the answer to this question was personification. So stars can't dance. Dance is a very human thing. The stars cannot move around, shake their hips. No, they're giant spheres made of gas or whatever. I'm not a science expert. You know what a star is, the sun. They can't exactly dance. And now some people may confuse it saying, oh, isn't that imagery? You could say it does create an image in your head. However, it doesn't appeal to all the 5 senses. The sentence here is a clear representation of personification. It's more directly that, at least. It fits perfectly with the description and the meaning of personification. While imagery, it's not exactly a description. It doesn't really appeal to all the 5 senses. So if you get a question like this, it's gonna be personification. Well, thank you for watching this video fully. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like and subscribe, and in case you have any questions or suggestions for me, please leave a comment down below. I would really appreciate that. And some key takeaways are that literary devices help authors actually make writing more powerful, more memorable. They add meaning, they add emotion, they improve description, and they can help develop the theme and the tone of the story or the text. So when you read, you should pay attention to this creative language. That is usually where these literary devices will appear. And the more you practice them, the easier it becomes to spot them. So hope you do good on your next assignment or your next analysis of a text. Please, if you can, make sure to use my explanations here. I really hope they did help you, and well, I'll see you in the next week. Bye bye.